This week on the programme, a well-known restaurant chain puts the computer autocorrect facility in its place, but not without some criticism. More on the continuing uproar over Facebook's mishandling of data as its chief executive officer tells users, "You agreed to do this." And a new summit wants to recapture the narrative of South Africa as a nation brand. So first up this week, in its quest to highlight typical South African challenges, Nandos, together with its advertising agency M&C Saatchi Abel, have launched a campaign called #WriteMyName in a continued effort, it says, to contribute to the broader dialogue of South Africa. The idea came about apparently when Nandos realised after about 30 years in the business that as a South African hallmark, the brand's name is still underlined by that annoying red squiggle, as if to say it's a mistake when entered into documents. So here to explain all of this to us is Petle, Art Director at M&C Saatchi Abel, along with Gordon Ray, Executive Creative Director at the agency. To both of you, a very warm welcome. Tsegafatso, to you first of all, how many times in your young career have you had the red squiggle?
Way too many times, even before the career. When you're writing a test in the classroom or you're doing an email to your teachers, it's been coming up.
Gordon, not so much with you.
No, I'm lucky. I'm
You're one of the lucky ones. What sparked this idea?
So, I mean, I guess Nando's is one of those brands that looks for burning topics, and we have kind of that constant dialogue with them. And Tsecho and her partner Tom had this idea of why in 2018 does this red line still exist? So we put it to the client, they were like, "Oh, that's true, even Peri Peri gets the red line. Like, surely it's time that we fix this." So that's kind of how the idea came about.
How did you make the link between the red squiggle and the idea that eventually culminated in this campaign?
I think
where were you sitting? What were you thinking and plotting?
I think the truth of it is that it affects more than myself. And so when you look at how, if this is something that affects more than just me sitting in my office as I type my emails, how many other people does it also impact? So is it my family members and beyond that, the rest of the country, South Africa? And what better way than to almost execute and charge the way of having technology being more inclusive than with a brand like Nando's? So.
Why was this so important to Nando's, do you think, this particular campaign?
Well, we just finished the 30-year TV ad, which hopefully you've all seen, with the Guptas kind of packing up and leaving. And the end line is, we fixed our stuff before, we'll fix it again. And this just felt like the perfect live, real-life way of fixing something in a practical way that actually would have an impact.
So, Tsecho, explain to us the mechanics of the campaign then. How did you take what is a really good idea and turn it into something which had legs?
So, because it all starts with the names, then it has to actually begin there in the mechanics. So we built a website, and it's writemyname.co.za, and we almost had a call out to people saying, come on over and type in your name. The names that get the red line, your name, your surname, even the names that your grandmother gave you, and you type the names in onto the website, and once you've submitted them, we've collected them into a database that then gets compiled into a dictionary that's added onto your computer, and especially in the workplace, and then that way, now every single time you type your name, it'll never get a red line.
And the response was?
Amazing. Incredible. The amount of people who then told the stories behind the meaning of their names. Because, I mean, just by showing the red line and almost defining it as an error is already also stating that, so the meaning behind it, are you questioning that? So, yeah, it definitely spearheaded that for us.
And the end goal is what?
So the end goal was originally the 21st of March, Human Rights Day, where we erected those huge plinths at Constitution Hill with the list of names. But it's ongoing, and we're going to carry on. And every 6 months, we're going to release a new bunch of names. And the end goal is for globally, the campaign's rolling out in 13 countries where Nando's is there.
Has that started?
That's starting. It's imminent. It's going to happen in the next few days, which is amazing. And then I guess the thing is to start lobbying the likes of Facebook globally so that it actually happens on that interface as well.
Yeah.
So that's our next
I think Facebook's got other problems at the moment.
Right.
We're going to get to that later on in the program.
But having said that,
the intention is very noble in that respect. How do you think this helps the brand?
This helps the brand in that now it's not advertising that's just selling a product. It's advertising that's understanding people on a very basic and human level, where I'm not only speaking to you from your television screen, because this didn't even air on TV, but I'm speaking to you in the spaces that you occupy from 9 to 5, and the thoughts that are going through your head, the conversations that you're having. So it's almost like the brand is almost tapping into spaces that they usually wouldn't, just by having this conversation with all South Africans.
All right, Gordon, as good an idea as it is, and I think people acknowledge that it is not without its criticism. So there was a big collaboration with the Sunday Times newspaper in which those names, I think in a single edition, were red squiggled, if I can use it as a verb. The criticism is that you did cross an editorial line. Do you have a view on that? And is that really Nando's problem, or is that the problem of the newspaper?
I think it's a great thing that a line was crossed, and that's who Nando's are as a brand. I would have had a problem if they had have fiddled with the actual content. All they did was highlight the fact that they are these names.
By squiggling it, or red squiggling it, were you not fiddling with the content?
Not with the takeout of what of the story.
But visually you were.
Visually, and that, I think, is where it was so powerful. I had lots of people kind of going, have you seen what's happening? You guys should include this in your campaign, only to turn to the third page and see it resolved. And I think the fact that they resolved it quite soon, themselves as Sunday Times on the second page, and that there was a full page ad on the third page, kind of didn't leave it hanging too long. But I think the main thing is, I think it's innovative, I think it's new, I think it's fresh, it's something only Nando's could do, and we're really chuffed that Sunday Times kind of helped us go there.
Folks, thank you very much indeed. Now, another bright idea around the commemoration of Human Rights Day, coming from the Apartheid Museum in collaboration with the advertising agency Joe Public. The initiative saw patrons of Johannesburg's best and busiest restaurants receiving something extra with their food and drinks bill. Over 8,000 bills, which listed the lives that were affected during the struggle against apartheid, reminded South Africans of the real cost of freedom and the Bill of Rights. Next on Mags on Media, a massive outcry over Facebook's misuse of data. A local expert weighs in.